Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel Universal Wisdom. Today we're diving into the inspiring life of Saint Pier Giorgio Frassati, the vibrant young man known as the Man of the Eight Beatitudes. Recently canonized on September 7, 2025, Saint Pier Giorgio continues to inspire young people and families around the world with his joyful faith, service to the poor, and deep love for Christ in the Eucharist. So who is Saint Pier Giorgio Frassati? Pier Giorgio Frassati was born on April 6, 1901, in Turin, Italy, into a wealthy and influential family. His father was the founder of the newspaper La Stampa and later served as Italy's ambassador to Germany. His mother was a noted painter. Despite their social status, his parents' marriage was strained, and the home was not deeply religious. From a young age, Pier Giorgio showed an unusually deep compassion for the poor, the sick, and the marginalized. At 17, he joined the Society of St. Vincent de Paul, visiting the sick, bringing food and clothing to the needy, and quietly giving away his bus fare to help others, often choosing to walk home instead. He loved hiking, skiing, mountain climbing, and spending time with friends. His friends described him as full of life, with a contagious joy, a love for the outdoors, and a natural ability to draw others closer to God without preaching. Pier Giorgio studied mining engineering at the Polytechnic University of Turin. His goal wasn't wealth but to improve the working conditions of miners and stand beside the working class. He was deeply involved in Catholic action, student movements, and social justice initiatives, uniting his faith with activism. He was outspoken against fascism and defended the Church's teachings with courage, even when unpopular. He founded a group called the Tipi Loschi, the Shady Characters, where he and his friends prayed, discussed faith, and enjoyed life together. This balance of deep spirituality and youthful joy made him incredibly relatable, proof that sanctity is not boring, but vibrant and full of life. Spiritual life. Pier Giorgio's inner life was intensely rooted in prayer and the sacraments, but what made him special was how seamlessly he carried that spirituality into everyday life. 1. The Eucharist at the center. Pier Giorgio considered the Eucharist his greatest treasure. He attended daily Mass, often early in the morning, even if it meant walking long distances. This devotion shaped his compassion. He saw Christ in the poor because he encountered Christ so personally in communion. 2. Love of Mary. Pier Giorgio had a tender devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary, praying the Rosary daily, no matter how busy or tired he was. He often carried his rosary in his pocket and invited friends to pray it with him, even while hiking in the mountains. 3. Prayer in action. Pier Giorgio believed prayer was not separate from daily life but infused it. He didn't just pray in church. He prayed while visiting the sick, helping orphans, and serving the poor. For him, prayer and action were one. Loving God and loving neighbor could not be separated. 4. Hidden sacrifices. Despite being from a wealthy family, Pier Giorgio lived simply. He gave away money, clothes, and even shoes to those in need, often returning home barefoot. He fasted frequently, offering sacrifices quietly, never to show off his holiness, but as acts of love for God and solidarity with the poor. 5. Joyful holiness. What stands out most about his spirituality is joy. Pier Giorgio wasn't grim or overly pious in a heavy way. His faith was full of laughter, friendships, music, and mountaineering. He saw God's beauty in creation, especially in the mountains, which became for him a symbol of striving upward. Verso l'alto. To the heights. 6. A life of beatitudes. Pope John Paul II, who beatified him in 1990, called Pier Giorgio the Man of the Eight Beatitudes. Why? Because his spirituality wasn't about extraordinary miracles or visions. It was about living the gospel in a simple, radical way. Humility, mercy, purity of heart, and hunger for justice. 7. The Dominican mission in the world. By joining the lay Dominicans, Pier Giorgio lived the Dominican motto Laudare, benedicere, predicare, to praise, to bless, to preach. He did this not from a pulpit but in classrooms, city streets, and mountain trails. his service and sacrifice. Pier Giorgio's life was short. At just 24 years old, he contracted polio, most likely from caring for the sick. On his deathbed, he asked that his medicine be given to someone poorer than himself. When he died in 1925, thousands of poor people lined the streets of Turin to mourn him. His family, who had no idea of the extent of his charitable works, were shocked by the testimony of those he had secretly helped. Miracle for beatification. On December 28, 1933, a man named Domenico Cellon, aged 40, was suffering from tubercular disease of the spine which caused paralysis of his lower limbs, very severe and considered incurable. A priest visited him, bringing a picture or prayer card of Pier Giorgio Frassati and prayed for his intercession. Domenico was completely healed, and he lived another 35 years in good health. His healing was declared rapid, instantaneous, and permanent. Medical experts, theologians, and the Church examined the case. The healing was validated in 1989. Then in December 1989, Pope John Paul II approved the miracle, which led to Pier Giorgio's beatification on May 20, 1990. Miracle for canonization. In 2017, a seminarian from the Archdiocese of Los Angeles, named Juan Gutierrez, now Father Juan Gutierrez, tore his Achilles tendon playing basketball, an injury confirmed by MRI, expected to require long recovery or surgery. He began a novena to Blessed Pier Giorgio Frassati. Midway through, while praying in the seminary chapel, he felt a sudden warmth in his ankle. A week later, an orthopedic surgeon found that the injury was healed. There was no longer any sign of the tear. He was able to resume all normal activity, including sports, with no residual impairment. Doctors, Vatican Medical Board, theologians, and the cardinal and bishops of the dicastery for the causes of saints examined the case. In November 2024, Pope Francis recognized this healing as the second miracle required for Pier Giorgio's canonization. He was canonized on September 7, 2025 by Pope Leo XIV. If you need healing, comfort, or guidance today, ask for the intercession of Saint Pier Giorgio Frassati. He who loved the poor, climbed mountains, and walked the path of prayer. And if this story moved your heart, share it with someone who might need hope. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and continue to walk Verso l'alto, to the heights with Saint Pier Giorgio. Thanks for watching.